dynamic of a long-lasting relationship?
What do you guys think? I think it does. Because I feel like, I noticed that in Hollywood, there's a lot of relationships that lasted for like 10 years plus. And as soon as they put a ring on it, they divorce within a year.
I have never been married, so I don't know. I don't have much experience in this, but I feel like it shouldn't change. If y'all already playing house, why should it change the dynamic?
It does. It does. And a lot of people make that comment that, it's just a piece of paper. We already playing house. You're playing house. Now, you got the position now. You're hired.
What does that piece of paper do that changes things?
It makes things realistic. It's like in your mind.
But if you playing house, it's realistic.
You're playing house, and you know that you at any time, if you choose to leave or you don't want to be in this situation, you are free to go without any ties or any situation. When you're married, things change.
Yes, you can't just up and leave.
But if you shacking up with somebody, you really can't just walk away like peace out, bye. If you shacking up with somebody,
you can. You can split what's going on. I mean, within the relationship and the rent and all that stuff, and the lease, you can break the lease and stuff. But at the same time, you can still get up and walk away, as opposed to a marriage. You have to go to divorce court. You have to get served.
Like people all the time, where dude would just leave and he just don't come back, and he leave over everything. You know what I mean? And it happens.
Yeah,
it does happen.
I mean,
And I guess you could say the same thing, with marriage, but still, it's legal ramifications that come from a marriage versus just being in a relationship.
I feel like it shouldn't change. It probably does change, but I feel like either way, it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, if you're married. If you want to walk away from the situation, you can. That's the bottom line.
But it's harder.
It doesn't matter how hard it is. You still can do it. So it doesn't matter.
I totally agree.
It doesn't matter.
I totally agree with Sean. It doesn't matter whether you shacking or you're not even living together until you get married. It should not change anything.
No, it shouldn't.
And if it does change, you probably married the wrong person.
You probably did, or you're gonna marry the wrong person, or something like that. But either way, I don't think it should change because I feel like the feeling should still be there. You should already know this person, and I think that you gotta look at all the signs of what's going on.
Okay, now I think that when we say it changes things, you always have a negative connotation behind it. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything that's changing is from a negative aspect. It just does change things. There could be some positive aspects that it changes, in that situation.
So
but things change.
But I don't think
he's my husband.
But I think that if you are with this person, you're with this person. So therefore,
there's no titles.
I mean, you still have a title if you're in a relationship. You're just not husband and wife, quote unquote.
But now it's the title of this my wife and this my husband. So there's a title, and there's also things as far as the law and that comes within the marriage. As far as the tax and all that stuff.
That's just too complicated. I just feel like I wouldn't want to be in a situation where if I'm in a relationship and then we decide to get married and all of a sudden something is different because you treating me different or you feel like this is now happening because we're married. That's just stupid. That just doesn't make sense to me.
What I also want to say within that, kind of going a little bit off top, but not really, as far as the marriage and getting married. Why is it so much focus on the wedding as opposed to the actual relationship? Why do y'all think that? Why so much focus on one day as opposed to the rest of your life?
I think that's just a fairy tale. For me, I'm not like that though. I'm the let's go to Vegas type of chick. Or I'm so serious about that because I would rather have money in the bank.
Yeah.
Or I would rather do something else other than a wedding. I don't even know that many people, to be honest with you. So who would we even invite? I'll just keep it real.
I completely agree. I'm even lower than the go to Vegas chick. I'm gonna go to the courthouse chick, and we can spend all our money on a honeymoon.
I ain't worried about that. I'm not worried. I'm worried about the quality of the relationship. It doesn't even matter about all that extra stuff.
I would rather have a much nicer ring than a big ass.
I ain't worried about the ring either. The ring really doesn't matter either.
Take the $10,000 we're gonna spend on a wedding and invest it into my rock.
I could never wear a $10,000 ring.
Oh, sorry, wear it in a minute.
I could never.
And wear it all day, brushing my teeth, digging in my nose, wherever. That ring ain't going nowhere. I'm about to cut my finger off to get that.
Oh my God, I wouldn't even want to know how much the ring costs, but I could never wear a $10,000 ring.
Maggie,
I think it's just.
It's overrated. That's cray-cray.
I'm sorry.
I think it is a fairy tale. People want to, most women, some women, I don't even say most women, some women have that fairy tale day. All their friends, family are there, so on and so forth. And really is you just paying to entertain people. That's really
Basically.
all it is.
Basically.
I had I'm currently in a relationship, been in it for a while, and we've actually separated and come back together. But prior to us being in a relationship now, we couldn't agree on budget. Totally opposite ends of the stick. Fighting every day about it, and I got to the point was like, look, let's just fly to New York, get married at the courthouse, and go to Paris for the rest of the week. That was my offer.
That's nice.
That is
That would
very
be
nice.
That would be my fantasy right there.
Turn it down flat. I want the wedding. Da-da-da-da-da.
Why? Just to let.
that.
I feel like that, just like you said, it's just to put on a show.
Right.
To show everybody that, hey, I'm getting married, basically. Where they don't really necessarily have to be a part of your actual day, as long as they're just a part of, your happiness alone, within the future, basically.
Right.
But I'm gonna keep it real. The wedding is actually like a fantasy that's put in the minds of little girls. Like by the time they're young. I mean, I knew when I was like 5, I want my wedding to be this, and I want to have
But
a
you
tiara, and I want to dress. I remember me and my sisters would dress up like princesses.
But you 5.
But I
I
mean,
never
this
had
is-
that.
This is the fantasy. I mean, but think about it. It's in all the Disney movies. Cinderella.
Right.
She marries her prince. I mean, these are fantasies that are played
Yeah, I
out
think
from
the-
when we're
the
young.
mom-
And I get
These
what she's
realities.
saying. It is like, the princess.
That's
and
why
all the
women
happily
grow up
ever
and they have that
after.
confidence because we've been thinking about it.
I
And
never
they
had
need
that
to
because I
stop
never even saw
that.
myself getting married. I don't know if I'll ever get married.
Break
it's
the
just
cycle.
not something in my mind. It's not ingrained in my mind like that.
Break
It's
the
something
cycle.
that will never be broken for the simple fact that you turn on the TV. Yeah, Tina Turner just got married.
But she was with her mate for years.
Yeah, she was. But what I'm saying is, you see the lavish
You
wedding
see weddings all the
that she
time.
had.
But you know what? If I was with my man for that many years and they got married and I came from beating ass Ike that used to beat my ass all day and I finally got a good man and I'm 70, oh, we finna do this thing. We finna get married for everybody, lavish,
why?
horse.
Why
But
you
she
feel like
said
that-
that if you watched that, because I actually watched that, she said that they were together. The marriage didn't mean. Well, let me choose my words. Not saying the marriage doesn't mean
It didn't
anything to
feel
her.
like that.
She just said the reason why she did that is because they're getting older and she's gonna have to leave her stuff to somebody. She wants to leave it to her husband,
Right.
and legally, if he's not her husband, then it's up. For
Right.
anybody to be able to come.
And I
in
thought
front
that
of
was a
her.
good thing.
So that's
for
why
her to
she
say.
got married.
Yeah, some people, like I said,
But I
some
mean,
people
she
do it
didn't
for
have
legal
to.
purpose.
She didn't have to have the lavish ceremony. She really could have just went to the courthouse or the.
She
justice
lives
of
in
the
London. I mean,
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah, so I mean, she didn't have to have a ceremony. I think really the ceremony was just nice. Let's celebrate this relationship that we've had for so long.
But
and
why
let's have
don't
all our
you
family.
do
But
something
could
small,
you?
though?
But could you be on the other stick of like Oprah and Stedman? Oprah said she will leave this earth as an unmarried woman.
Exactly.
But they have a
for
committed
years.
relationship.
Yes.
Could you be that person with knowing that this man wants to be with you
Personally,
without
me?
being married to him?
No, personally, me, no, I can do it. I applaud Oprah. That works for her. But personally, me, I can do it.
Yeah, they still together, they just ain't married.
And
I
they
don't
love
know.
each other.
I
think
feel
Her
it's great.
stuff. I mean, in California though, after they've been together for 10 years, you can have everything. So they live in California too, part time. So
I mean,
10
I
years you
don't
can
know.
have everything.
I think that I don't know. I think women pressure men a little too much, in my opinion, for marriage. And I don't know why, but I guess it is part of the fairy tale. I think that that's a man's job
To do what?
to determine when marriage is on the table.
That's true.
I just feel like
Because
that.
you had someone
I
put a
do.
time period as to
I
when
do.
they should
I don't
get
feel
married.
like that's a conversation that I need to bring up to you. You need to either have it in your mind or not, or we just gonna be in this relationship where it's just a relationship and it is what it is. And if you get to that point, you get to that point. I'm never gonna bring that up.
I think there's some people though, you can look at them, you be like, I can't see, them going to the courthouse. Like
True.
she ain't going to no courthouse. Come on now, like her and that dude
Why
was like made of money. Like I just couldn't see.
I mean,
them
Well,
going
she
to
could
the
have
courthouse.
had a
They
private
can have
ceremony where she could have had some
It still went over
somebody
time.
come. Not necessarily.
No,
you have a lot of
she
celebrities
did
that
have
have
a private
small private
ceremony.
ceremonies
It was
with
private.
just friends and family, close friends, and not like a big spectacle.
I mean, hers was private. It
Look
wasn't.
at Janet Jackson. She got
Janet
married.
Jackson is sneaky though. This is the second time
You don't
she
know
done snuck out
exactly
and
what
got
they.
married.
You don't know exactly what her wedding looked like though.
Her family wasn't there. They didn't even know she was married.
I mean, but that's a crazy ass family, and I mean, they wouldn't have got an invitation to
But,
part of the
but I'm
family.
using it as an example.
That's
If
a bad
she had
example.
something small.
I just think that you gotta do what you think is best.
Just like Kelly Rowland, she's getting married, and she said it's gonna be her spouse, and the preacher, and that's it.
But the thing is,
Nobody else is
Kelly
invited.
ain't really got no family like that nowhere. Her family is the Knowles.
But she had friends, and she do have people in
I
her
think that
life.
she do have people that will come to her
Exactly,
wedding, but I think
but she's
it's
not
more.
invited,
I
but
think
she want more
Kelly
intimate.
is just more. Yeah, she gets it, and I would want to have all that attention anyway. I'm not that kind
Exactly.
of person. I'm a very private
And it's a
person.
headache to do all that stuff, and
It's
you know,
still
people
going
talk
to be
about you.
expensive. I think it's still going to be expensive. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that if you can afford it. But I think when they say private, they mean no media. You
No,
understand
she's
what I'm saying?
no, she's
No,
not
she's
having
saying she
anybody.
didn't want nobody, just him. And her.
Nobody's going to be at the
We'll
wedding.
see how that-
Exactly.
how that all folds
Because
out.
she already talked about it. She said it's going to be something just her spouse, and the preacher, that's it.
I don't see
That's all
anything
she
wrong
wants.
with that. People
There's
do
nothing
it all
wrong
the
with that,
time.
yeah.
You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really had a problem with the budget, because I feel like if we spend all this money getting married, we can be divorced for financial reasons.
Thank you. That's another thing too. It's
And that-
like
to me, that's
yeah.
just not a responsible thing to do.
It's not. You should be saving for the
Maybe you
future.
have
Not
to save up
using
more. I
all
think
of
maybe
it.
it can't just be like a one thing. Maybe it's like,
Well-
okay, I'm gonna compromise with the situation. We're gonna save up to it. That way you can get what you want. I can get what we want. What
Right.
I want, we gonna give you better.
Right, but you have to be willing to do that.
Yeah.
And then that's why I got frustrated with the entire process, because you weren't trying to compromise on it. So to me, it made more sense. So let's fly to New York. There's a nice courthouse in New York. You know, who doesn't want to go to Paris?